Welcome back, everyone. We're now pleased to be joined by Officer Brett Anderberg. He's in studio with us today to discuss Halloween safety.
Well, thanks for having me.
You know, we're glad to have you back. There's a lot of excitement around this holiday. And today we just want to explore some safety tips to keep parents, kids, motorists, and everyone safe when it comes to October 31st. So first, Officer Anderberg, let's start by discussing trick-or-treating. And you know, that really begins before the child even steps outside of the door. Let's talk a bit about some costume safety tips that parents should really be aware of.
Well, I think it's very important, obviously, that the kids are able to see out of their costumes. I've noticed over the years that kids have the eyes covered and the big elaborate masks that they can't talk through or see through. And it's just as important for the child to see out as a parent to watch them. And also to have the child at least in an area of their costume, something reflective.
Okay.
Their feet, their hands, their legs, something that a motorist can see.
Okay. You know, and it's not ever a bad idea to throw a glow stick on a kid or even bright colors. Everyone wants to be spooky and black.
Right. If the parents did save their glow sticks from the National Night Out, they should have plenty to hand out. They're very inexpensive. You can get them anywhere and they'll last a couple hours. It's a great little side snack to the actual snacks.
There you go. Well, next, you know, it's important to stay in groups while you're out trick-or-treating. And, you know, people may open their homes. Friendly, you know, come on in when they're trick-or-treating. But let's talk a bit about kind of approaching houses and groups and things like that.
Well, I think it's important that the kids go as a group, and I think it's even more important that if people want to invite you in, it's probably better to sit back and just take the candy out on the front steps and not go inside a house. We really don't have too many problems that way, but there's always that chance that somebody has different intentions.
Better safe than sorry. And you know, Halloween isn't just something to be aware of when it comes to safety, when it comes to the people actually out trick-or-treating and the parents involved. Motorists need to be looking out for a lot of things come October 31st as well. Let's talk a bit about that.
Well, I think obviously towards the end of the year, towards the end of October, we've had snow in the past. We've had terrible weather, cold. People are bundled up. They're wearing darker clothing. Not many people wear light clothing. I think we all have to be aware of the people crossing in the middle of roadways and just in general, slow down a little bit just to give people an extra second.
And it is getting dark out earlier.
Very dark. That's the other problem we have. We're catching up. We're getting dark earlier. It's going to be 5 o'clock. It'll be dark, and people have to remember to turn their lights on. They're not always automatic on cars as people think. People have to turn the switch. So that is a big factor, the lighting. Absolutely.
And you know, things like still going to the crosswalk and hitting the button and waiting for the light to change and stuff. It's not canceled out because it's October 31st and there's lots of kids on the road.
Exactly. We always want to be cautious of that, and like I said earlier, we want to make sure people are paying attention to the crosswalk.
This is something we always had to do when I was a kid in particular, but maybe not all parents enforce this. Talk a bit about why it's important to wait until you get home before diving into the bucket or the pillowcase or wherever you're collecting your candy.
Well, I think it's important because there are people out there who think it's funny to play tricks with the candies, and we have found items in candy. I don't want to alarm anybody, but it's been around for years. It's been known. Sometimes you'll have an open candy. It's not intentional, but it's better just to go home, sort it out, and have your parents look through it, have them toss the bad, keep the good.
And that way you can also divide into piles.
You can divide into piles.
And
Mom
trade
and Dad
what you
together.
don't like.
Exactly.
Well, with such a high number of young people out and about on October 31st, the police will also be looking out for, you know, vandalism. It's unfortunate, but when there's lots of people out and about, it can happen. Is the Bloomington Police going to be patrolling highly on October 31st?
Yes, we are. We generally do. We send cars out in areas that we normally don't hit, I guess, just to keep an eye on the neighborhoods for any kind of vandalism, any spray painting, any egg throwing, toilet papering, that kind of thing. We always kind of keen up for that.
Now, from trick-or-treating safety to adult Halloween safety that are out and about at the party, what reminders do you have for partygoers around these holidays coming up?
Well, I will say that we do have a Towards Zero Death program happening in that weekend, the weekend prior to Halloween. There are a lot of parties, a lot of people partake in the alcoholic beverage, and we are out there. We will be watching. Don't drink and drive.
Find a sober ride. Well, we'd like to thank Officer Brett Anderberg for joining us today to talk a little bit about some Halloween trick-or-treating safety. We just want to encourage everyone to have a fun and safe Halloween.